Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. Cutting a video with the iPhone so my eyes look weird. Alright, so we got the iPad 10th gen here with iOS 18.2. And I want to talk to you about this and some of the problems I've been running into. Well, it's not an old iPad, but it's not a new iPad, as we all know, right? However, since the 18.2 update, I've noticed some issues. One of which is with my program OnSong, which is a lyric program. And, well, it's taken a little while to boot, a little longer than normal. Previous to 18.2, our last full OS before that, this thing was snap, 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 instant. And I have not programs, but songs on here in my database that do pull from the internet all the time regardless. Even though it's in the list, it still pulls it. And even with a really strong Wi-Fi connection, it doesn't seem to matter. Since 18.2, either the song does not load and I get a little title and then I have to quit the program, restart it, then get the song and then it'll retrieve it, or it'll take a while and it finally does retrieve it, especially if I skip through other songs and then it'll come back and all of a sudden I get it. So that's been an issue. Other than slow boot up of OnSong, okay? Booting time of the iPad period has slowed down a bit too, okay? Since the 18.2 update. The other problem I've had is I use this iPad most of the time, in fact, for cutting my YouTube videos. I had an iPad Pro, but one of the problems with that is, of course, camera location is on the side. Kind of like, you know, my eyes look like they're cockeyed and really I'm staring straight. So I kind of like this iPad better because the camera is right here where it should be on all iPads, right? Even from the get-go, they should have done that, but, you know, it's Apple for you, right? So anyway, but I had gotten rid of that iPad because I figured, well, I can't even do anything to slow it down. Now I'm regretting getting rid of it because, well, nothing can slow down an M2 iPad yet, right? And so I'm kind of thinking here, well, I didn't really need a second iPad regardless. I probably should have kept the Pro and gotten rid of this one, but this one's got the better camera on it for doing my videos, so when I look straight at the camera, I'm looking at you guys, because I ditched my DSLR stuff. Anyways, because yeah, that's just too much of a pain in the butt to do anything with. So you pick and choose your battles in life, okay? I mean, you just live with your decisions. So anyway, but otherwise, I mean, it's shooting my videos absolutely perfectly fine. It's working great for that. It'll at times take me multiple tries to do a video. Like literally my last video was like cut, dry, boom, boom. The video before that, I think I was like 80 tries or something. Okay, because I don't do scripts. Okay, I shoot right from the hip kind of thing, and you know, that's the way I roll. But anyways, so you got to go in and you got to delete it, which is fine. I would delete it, no problem, just boom. But it goes into that subfolder to recently deleted items, okay? It doesn't matter if I've got one in there, 3 or 30 of them. It's doing it all the time, the same thing. I go to try and access that, and it's a little slow, right? And you got to type in your password. And sometimes my password gives me a hard time because I can type my password in pretty quick, right? Well, that's been slugging me down off and on. It's been a bug. Sometimes it goes in fast. Sometimes it takes a couple tries before it goes in at all, right? Because it's sluggy. I get finally into that folder, and it's like, oh, finally I'm here. But then it's taking a while to load anything, even if it's only 1 or 2 files, right? It's like, why is this so slow, right? But it's doing it nonetheless. So a lot of people say that Apple builds in on purpose ways of forcing us to buy new gear by intentionally putting in software that'll slow us down. And I'm actually, to be honest, starting to believe that because this is like not the first rodeo with me. Like eventually an iPad just gets too big of an operating system for its own good. But even iOS 18 should not be slowing certain operations or any operations at this point down that bad. Like especially to try and just get into your recently deleted items, it shouldn't be slowing you down that bad to even get into them. But It is something that's happening. Maybe the next update will actually fix that. Um, Another thing I'm taking a little bit of issue with lately, over the last few months at least, between all of our Mac OS devices in the house and our iOS devices, it seems we're getting updates a little bit too often. It's starting to feel like Windows, you know what I mean? Like Windows 11, you can be almost guaranteed every second day you've got an update, or you're going to get a new feature update. Maybe once a week, or I mean, the update world on Windows is friggin' frustrating at best. It's like, can I just have 5 friggin' seconds to use my computer, right? You know what I mean? You get really mad. And it's starting to feel like Apple is leaning toward that way in the last while, because either they're really botching up with the developers and they're not getting crap right, or I don't know what it is, but it's bug fix after bug fix lately. And, you know, we've got some bugs on the Mac as it is right now with Sequoia. With that latest update, it's been screwing with Minecraft, it's been screwing with a few other things, and it's kind of like, this is not a good thing. You know, it's not like my Mac is slowing down, but my export times certainly are for iMovie. They've slowed down a bit. But I'm not ready to buy a new Mac quite yet. Besides, I don't have the money. I am starting to really research the M4s more and more in the last day or two, and I am starting to get a little bit twinkle-berried toward an M4, and I am actually considering maybe this time I'll just think about getting a laptop as opposed to another desktop. It does seem to be another route to go. Just don't know what MacBook I would get, but it depends on what my budget ends up becoming. I won't find that out until later in the new year. So we'll have to see. But if I do end up parting ways with the Mini M1 and going to an M4, I may just keep the Mini for a music production machine only, because it's going to be perfect for that for years to come. Or I may just say screw it, ditch it, and go M4 either way. I don't know. But the iPad thing has kind of really got me right now, because unless it's just an update fix, I don't know what's going to go next, but we'll have to see. But I wanted to just touch base with you guys to see if maybe you're having problems with your iPads. Now, this is, like I said, it's a 10th gen, and it's a really beautiful iPad, and I really love it. And it's doing fantastic for me otherwise, but when it starts to slow down on song, like my other iPads of the past did, they were starting to slow down. That was definitely related to the operating system, and I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe people are onto something after all. Because I couldn't do anything to slow down my M2 iPad. I mean, nothing would touch it. You know, I tried, and it's like, you know, it's just too overkill. But this is starting to slow down my boot up time of the iPad a little bit, not much, but a bit. Like I said, on song, some of my files, they either don't load at all, and I have to restart the program, or if I flick through a couple of different songs that aren't going to pull from the internet, that's fine, and then I can go back to the ones that do, and then they finally load, or who knows. But that's the most I think I've been discovering, other than the slowdown of trying to access deleting those recently deleted items, because I don't want to keep them there, because they're taking up space on my iPad, right? Which also in turn takes up space in the cloud, because as you know, if you got one Apple device and they're all connected to each other, it shares these everywhere, right? So, you know, it's like, so you got to delete the crap out eventually. But anyway, we'll figure it out, I'm sure. I haven't been looking at my games at all, really. I don't think I'm going to be overly concerned with them anyways, because I don't really play them much. But I use the iPad, like I said, mostly for two things. I shoot YouTube videos. Shooting them's fine. And I definitely use the on-song program, and I need that to be reliable and quick. And it was really lickety-split snappy until that 18.2 update hit. Now things are just coming down to a halt, and it's like, maybe I should have kept the M2 after all, because at least that wouldn't be screwing up on me. But then again, you know, one of them had to go. That was the thing. I didn't need to have two. And but I chose to keep the one with the better camera as far as the front camera goes. So But anyway, I just want to touch base. Let me know if you guys have been experiencing problems with your iPad, what those experience has been with the 18.2 update, like what kind of bugs have you run into, because then I know more of what I might be able to expect with this over time. I'm not prepared to buy a new iPad at this time. It's going to have to do the job for my OnSong stuff for my music, and it definitely is going to have to keep going as a camera, which it will. It's just, I'm hoping that they straighten out whatever it is at least slowing down accessing those recently deleted items. That I would at least like to have fixed, and I would prefer if OnSong was a little bit more stable. Now, some of you might actually even say to me, well, maybe OnSong needs to do an update. Well, maybe they do. They do keep me up to date all the time. That's the thing. You know, and so they're always staying compatible that way. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, I don't think I've had an update on OnSong since 18.2. But perhaps, maybe that's all it needs to straighten out OnSong. But what is going to straighten out my apps for my camera for getting access? Because I mean, it is seriously slow. Like when you go to fire up the camera, you go into your pictures little icon there. It's got a little bit of a stall out to open them, and then okay, well, I want to go into all photos, and that part's not too shabby, so I'm scrolling up, and I got to find my recently deleted link. I hit on that, I push on that. Sometimes I even push, like even a couple times. Now I got to type in my password, so I'll try typing that in. This time it's working really fast. Right now there's nothing in there anyway, so not a big deal. But other times it's like, it's kind of like a delay, right? You type in your 6-digit password and 3 of them get there, and then the other 3 slowly type themselves, or just not at all, right? So that's kind of part of the bug that's happening. But so I'm not going to say what's new with the iPad to iOS 18.2. No, this is the problems I'm running into with 18.2. How many of you are running into some issues, and what are they? Because I think it's important that we share back and forth too what kind of problems we are having, because then it helps us to better say, okay, maybe we should just tell Apple, like, this is the problem I'm having, this is the iPad version I'm having, you know, is this just a glitch we can get worked out? Like, is there some kind of a fix, because it didn't do this before you gave me 18.2, you know what I mean? Like, what is up? I mean, that wasn't much of an update to go to 18.2, and now all this is happening. Like, why? So anyway, that's what I got for you on this one. Stay tuned, we got more videos for you guys, and thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one. Okay, see ya.